Hello, people. I'm here for another video. I think I'm gonna do another favorite album right now and do Hollywood Undead Swan Songs just because it's one of my top 10. Because I have like a lot of like music that I generally listen to and that I'm into, and there's a lot of favorites or whatever that I end up having. There's like, I don't know, it's hard to count even like how many people that I really enjoy listening to. But I figure I'm gonna do like instead of doing a top 10 type of series, I'm planning on just talking about a certain video or like a certain album at the time, right? I'm sorry, my dog's coming in. I'm trying to not to have him up in the way or nothing, but I'm definitely trying to do it as a different type of. Try to do it a little bit different than most people usually do, where they'll do like top 10 blah 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 to number one, because I don't like doing that shit anyway. I just want to come from hey, I'm just gonna do this album. So anyway, this is my top, like one of my all-time favorite like albums to listen to, and it's been a long time since I first heard. I keep coming back to it, but like the first time I heard Hollywood Undead, my friend Josh, which is funny because my name is Josh too, but he ended up having me listen to the song "Bitches" that was like on MySpace back in the day. That's mostly how they were found, I guess, was they were doing stuff on MySpace, and then it was like them, Jeffree Star, and fuck, I forgot the other one. And like certain bands like made it huge off of just MySpace. So, but anyway, when I was listening to this album, like Bitches really got me hooked. And then that was before they even came out of the record, before they even did anything. So I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so I was very hyped whenever this album came out. Then whenever it did come out, it exceeded my expectations. Like, especially when it comes off from Undead, when Undead starts, it gets you hyped for the rest of the album. Like, a lot of people, like, whenever I talk to anybody when it comes to this record, usually the main thing that they ever talk about is Black Dahlia on the record, just because it's like a super serious song and they're filling up with their emotions on stuff and like trying to get their idea of like how they felt at the time whenever they recorded it, or like when they were in, whenever they were growing up, whatever. I don't know exactly like everything about it, and sure that they've went through their own type of problems since then, like Danny taking over because they kicked out Deuce, and then I'm trying to think. I think the Curls left or something, and so now it's only like 5 members or something like that, and it was originally like 7 or 8. I don't remember for sure. I've been listening to them for a long time. I try to stay out of the drama when it comes to most bands if they like leave or whatever. Like the main thing, like they've already came out and talked about this, how they feel like some of their music from this record was kind of like problematic for the time, like especially now. But I love it because it shows like how much they were like uh not ride or die, but they had nothing to lose practically. So they were just saying a bunch of shit that they were living through at the time, and how much they were talking shit to like whoever that they were talking to. And then they recorded this stuff to be like, you know what, you can't fuck with me, especially in the Undead song. Like my brother hates it, like absolutely hates this song because he feels like it's juvenile or whatever. But I think the problem is certain people that have that opinion is because they haven't went through that same type of issues probably. I mean, I've dealt with stuff that I feel for in this whole entire record. Personally, probably Undead, Everywhere I Go, and Bottle and a Gun are probably my favorites. And I even like when I was doing karaoke ages ago, because I loved doing karaoke. I even got people to get the karaoke versions of Undead and Bottle of a Gun. Jeez, I can't even say it. Bottle and a Gun to perform at the karaoke thing, which like is a rarity because most times I barely ever get metal like you get more like hip hop and stuff like that, but like rarely ever do you get the combination of both. But what's it called? So I just really enjoyed this record. I come back to it all the time. That's the main thing that's different, is that I always listen to this record, like all the time. I sometimes listen to American Tragedy and a lot of their other albums. Like to me, their last one that they did, or actually, I would say that 5 is my least favorite from them. Even though that what's it called? Like it's not a bad record, or not a bad music complete, but you could tell that they were kind of veering away from their first few records, like when they were doing American Tragedy and Swan Songs, and then I'm trying to think of the other one. Man, Notes from the Underground, I think that was the other one that I'm thinking of. So like you could hear it in each record that they were coming out with, because I think they're up to like 7 or 8 now, because they just dropped another song for Idol that has Tech Nine in it, which he's probably going to be on one of my upcoming lists too for the best of albums that I have. But what's it called? When that dropped, and then the last record that they did, it was something. Man, damn it, something of the Empire Volume 1. Oh man, I'm horrible. I should just write shit down, like before I even start talking about this shit, because like it, at least to be more consistent. But I like going off the cuff a lot of the time. But this record, I definitely think that anybody that listens to hip hop, listens to metal, or even rock or whatever, there's a lot of blending of styles that they do, and they even started their own. I think because Broken Side. And even though that I don't think Broken Side kind of sound like Hollywood Undead, they kind of do, because they have the rap with the metal stuff. But I always thought that most of the time Hollywood Undead was more rock than it was rap. Even though that they're like a perfect blend, it's probably like 60-50 or 60-40% like more rock than it is hip hop. Where like Broken Side would be like 80 for metal, and then like 20% for rap or whatever, because they would do all their songs would be screaming and everything in it. So but anyway, all the songs are good. Like I repeat them a lot. It's like number 5. I love number 5 too. I haven't talked about, I'm like, mostly it's like the beats in the song. The beats are perfect for the songs. You can, especially if you're like working, you're doing cleaning or whatever, and you have Spotify on or Pandora or something, and then you just have it in the background. No matter what, you're probably gonna just be jamming out. And a lot of people have probably enjoyed this record. That's why they're still going strong like today. Is that they're still going, still putting out stuff, still got like a hardcore fan base. But yeah, ever since Bitches came out, and there's only been one time, like I've seen them twice in concert, and I don't know if you can tell, but in the very back, I'm trying to think, up in one of these spots is a signed album from them. But it's the number 5 one or whatever. Like it's up there somewhere. But like each time that I've seen them, there was only one time where they did Bitches, and it was like not the actual version. It was more like a slowed down kind of like party vibe version of Bitches. And definitely, if anybody hasn't heard that song, you should definitely check it out. Like, I definitely recommend this one. It's like certain albums from them, I'm like, maybe eventually I'll do like a list of which ones are my favorite, blah blah blah. Maybe just do that on the Facebook channel, or I don't know, wherever I could. But the main thing is Swan Songs is my absolute peak when it comes to like Hollywood Undead songs or records. And then it goes from like I'm trying to think of the one that has it's like their 5th record or 4th, where it had, because it was the second time I saw them in concert, and they opened up with, oh yeah, Day of the Dead, that's what it was. they opened up with one of the songs off of that record. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it got everybody hyped and everybody was going crazy. But like every song on this song like record is good. Like you could tell like they put like every inch of passion into it. They were trying to get people to watch it or like listen to their album. Like that's what's different with certain bands to me, especially, is that they don't have the same feeling for stuff anymore. Like not enough passion and stuff like that into their music. Not saying a lot of them are like that, but some of them are. Like it seems like a big, and I definitely do not care that they came out and they kind of tried to be like, oh yeah, this shit was problematic and we shouldn't have made it. Sorry. Like, I definitely don't think you shouldn't make things just because it's problematic now. Like, at the time, you got to think about it, you were a lot younger, you were doing a lot of stupid shit, probably, more than likely, because a lot of kids end up doing stupid shit. So, I mean, and especially you were like mad at the world. So you were just like, you know what? I want somebody to hear me. And then you got famous off of it. And then it's like you trying to tell people to not listen to your music, or at least that stuff. Seems kind of like it spits in the face of all the people that listened to this record and got you the like helped get you where you were. I don't want to sound like, I don't know, hating or whatever. I just feel like you should embrace where your albums are. I don't think you should hate disagree with your music now because you have different ideas, or you don't think that they worked out as much as they should have, or whatever. Like, really, at the end of the day, I think that everybody should not rest on the laurels and then put out this record, enjoy it, and then not hate it later on. I get like certain bands like Led Zeppelin not liking Stairway to Heaven and stuff like that, like, or not wanting to perform it at all. Like, I get that, especially when it's like your most famous song and everybody wants you to play it. Like, no matter who it is, it's like, oh yeah, I want you to play that song. I'll get pissed off if you don't play that song. I go to see like what their set list is and what they play, like, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, all these songs were good. I wish they would have played that song, but it's okay. At least I got to see them in concert. Like, Hollywood Undead was definitely like that. The first time I saw them, they did Bitches, they did Undead. They started with Undead, and I was like, okay, yeah, it definitely gets everybody hyped. And it seems like that's one of the major songs that a lot of people now would still want them to play. Like, no matter what it is Undead, or like Everywhere. Oh, man, I can't even talk. Everywhere I Go and stuff like that. And this is also a funny story. When I first saw Hollywood Undead, it was right after their first album came out. And they were playing at Club La Vila. And this was at the time where I didn't even see their faces. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know anything. So eventually, I see people walking back and forth, like, because they were playing with, I think it was Framing Hanley, and then there was another band that played before them, but I can't remember who. But anyway, like, I see guys walking back and forth, and then I was just sitting there, I'm like, oh, that must be their roadies or something like that. Then later on, when Hollywood Undead start playing, it's those guys, like, fucking up on stage. Like, what's it called? It was mainly Deuce. Deuce came out, and what's it called? I think maybe Funny Man came out, and then they were grabbing their gear and bringing it out. And I don't think anybody else knew at the time either, because nobody was like, oh my god, it's Deuce, blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody was saying shit. Because I think that was before the time that they really, like, had pictures going on and stuff like that. Not a lot of people ended up having, like, super old phones and stuff like that way that they could take their image, because they kept their masks on for a good bit of their set list. I think the only time that they took them off was during Bitches. I can't remember for certain, but I just thought it was funny that it was Deuce the whole time, and I could have been like, yeah, Deuce, blah blah blah, and I didn't know. But, yeah, definitely a fun time doing any of that stuff. That was my sound bar. Nice. I forgot to shut it off. But, on that note, I just definitely recommend for you guys to check out this damn record, and more than most of the people, that if you do check this out, you probably already have listened to it. I mean, it's been out since like 2010 or something. I don't remember exactly when, but it's been out for a long time. But I definitely think you should check this record out. I know that I don't know if, like, I'm gonna be doing other albums upcoming, like after this one. I don't know exactly which ones that I'm gonna do, but if you want to end up leaving a comment about anything that you think that I should check out, if I dig it, because I'll always read the comments, try to figure out new music because I'm always down for that shit. Leave them down in the comments. Go to any of the socials on Heart of Geek, like even the Twitch stream channel. Like, I do my own, like, we have a Heart of Geek one, but I'll drop my Twitch channel down there too, because I've been lately playing a lot of Destiny and doing some wrestling stuff, because I do wrestling videos too. But if you like any of that shit, any of the Heart of Geek stuff, you could go to there, and you could go to any of the socials where it says the Heart of Geek, and for all of that, you can like and subscribe if you feel like it, or whatever. I usually try not to say that shit because everybody in YouTube videos says that shit, especially if you made it to the end of the fucking video. But and for that, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Alright, see you later.